We are previewing UFC 143 here on SBRtv. We are talking with extremely sick MMA oddsmaker Nick Kalikas, who consults for DSI, and an extremely sick MMA analyst, LayzieTheSavage from MiddleEasy.com. And right now we're going to take a look at Starks Herman, another line with a big favorite line. Ed Herman is a minus 255 favorite, and he's coming back from a knee injury, and I know that he looked great in his first two fights, but anytime and Clifford Starks seems like he's coming up in class, right? So he obviously should be a big dog, but he's kind of an up and coming kind of guy going against a veteran who's looked good but is coming off an injury. When I see this situation in other sports, I'm always leaning towards the underdog here. Nick, where'd you open this line?
I opened this one around 2-1 as well, and the public bet it up to Ed Herman 2.5 to 1. Now this one was probably out of the group one of the most difficult lines to set, because I believe the Herman is probably the right side here as well. But on a dog like Starks, now he's going to have that wrestling. Herman's got great wrestling as well, so let's not forget that. But he should have, on paper, the wrestling advantage over Herman, and he could control this fight, possibly get to the ground. But if he does get this fight to the floor, he's got to worry about Herman's guard, which we've all seen his BJJ game has improved tremendously, and he's going to be busy. It's going to be a big step up in competition, I think, for Starks. So I think Herman is the side. I think he has more ways to win this fight, and so I think the early action is probably the right action in this case. But again, hard to bet against a wrestler that can get it to the ground, and if his sub defense it keeps on improving, and if he could avoid those subs, he can win this fight. So he could steal the fight, but I think Herman is the way to go here.
And what about the injury? Lazy, what do you make of this injury? Because Herman was not doing that great before the injury. Then he got injured. Now he's come back, and he's had two awesome fights. But you think he's completely recovered?
Yeah, I think so. I'm expecting this fight to be a dogfight and these two to really go to war. I know how the UFC likes to bring in guys that you don't know too much about, and they pit him up against a superstar, usually someone on tough that has, recognition, like Ed Herman. I expect these two to go to war, but I think Herman will have the experience to, closed out in the third round. But then again, I don't know too much about Starks, so.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of coming up in class, and he's he's supposed to be a good wrestler, right? And so you see that all the time, a good wrestler grinding out a win, And
he's got long reach, too. That's the funny thing, that Herman's actually going to be taller by a couple inches, I believe, on the feet, but reach-wise, he's not going to have the reach advantage. Starks is going to have the reach. But on the feet, I think that still Herman possesses a little bit more of a threat there, too. So if he decides to take this to the floor, he's going to be in trouble because Herman's grit off his back. If he decides to stand, I think he's going to be in a little bit of trouble because Herman's better on the feet, other than the reach advantage that he's got there. So it's going to be a big test. If he passes this test, then look out for Starks to make some waves in the division for sure, because he's going to climb the ladder well. I think he's going to keep on improving. But at this point, it's a tough test, and I don't think he's going to pass this one.
All right, and let's just get best bets on the whole card. Nick Kalikas, out of all these 10 lines, which would be your best bet?
My best bet? I would probably say, and hopefully the line drops and the public helps me a little bit, but I'd have to say Barrow.
Really?
Barrow, yes. I would think I would be comfortable laying that 2.5 to 1 still at this point. Hopefully it drops down to closer to 2 to 1.
At minus 250. All right. And LayzieTheSavage from MiddleEasy.com. Out of the 5 fights we discussed, which would be your best bet?
Nick Diaz. Bet the house on it. Bet everything. Telling
minus
you, you're
170.
Gonna double up easy money. He's the best fighter in the world. I'm not just saying that because he's a friend of mine. I truly feel that way. All the respect in the world to Carlos Condit. He's a tough fighter, but it's not his time.
All right. Well, and my best bet on the card will be Nick Diaz. And I'm not saying that because he's a friend of mine. I'm saying that because Lazy picked him, and I think Lazy is super cool, and I just want to be on the same team as him. So that's my pick. My pick is Nick Diaz, minus 170.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm going to be on the other side of you guys here. But like I said, if I'm wrong, I'll be happy because Nick Diaz does deserve the attention. I mean, this guy's been around for a long time, and he's the man right now.
All right. Great preview, guys. As always, thanks so much, Nick Kalikas from DSI and LayzieTheSavage from MiddleEasy.com. Thanks so much.